All right, what's going on, Giants fans? Week 16 offensive line report. The series is basically over for the year, but we're going to make the playoffs, so hopefully not. This week, the offensive line didn't play great. I mean, there's 6 sacks in this game. That's never good, although they weren't all on the O-line. Running game, they just weren't able to run the ball because they were down 17-0 in the second quarter, so it was a very pass-heavy game. Individual play, we'll go through it because what we're doing on this video is I just took notes on plays, overalls, O-line. I'm not going to break down each individual player like we do most of the time. I have 11 plays, some good, some bad. We're going to go through. Andrew Thomas played really well. Kevin Zeitler played really well. Nick Gates played really well. Shane Lemieux continues to really struggle in pass blocking, and this may have been his worst game pass blocking wise. Matt Parrott had some issues. What sucks for Matt Parrott, though, is he doesn't get a full game to work with. So when he does play good, it's awesome, but it's only limited reps. And then when he does play bad, it's really bad because he doesn't have the reps to bounce back. And, Cam Fleming hasn't been horrible, but he also hasn't been great either. He's been saved by being on the right side. And Will Hernandez was good in his limited snaps. So let's get into it. We're going to go through 11 plays, some good, some bad. And some of this just highlights. This first one, this is a 3rd and long screenplay. You know it's a screenplay because you see Zeitler clearing out. But watch Shane Lemieux. Just like, hey, not only am I going to get upfield and try and get the screenplay, he's going to lay out Calais Campbell. And that's Calais Campbell. Just lays him out. They're not able to get in the field, but nonetheless, that was cool to watch. Here is a bad Will Hernandez play. We'll go through it. This is that power O they like to run. Got misdirection. You see the way Caden Smith and Alfred Morris. It's a misdirection counter, but it's still like that power O type. What does Will Hernandez do wrong on this one? Well, when he's pulling, you want to get inside shoulder and drive through. You don't need to move this guy through, but inside shoulder, and you got to stick on that block. Well, he goes to lay out Ngakoue, and it allows Ngakoue, because he doesn't stay square and try and just block him instead of laying him out. It allows Ngakoue to get around that edge and get at the ankles of the running back. Instead of not trying to lay him out and if you just have a solid block right here, you got the hole right here. And I thought Caden Smith, this is a hard block to make, but I thought he did a bad job. Like, I don't get the point of trying to squeeze through here. I mean, you have the down block. The read has to be off of Parrott. But everywhere else, let's watch this combo by Gates Parrott and Zeitler. Zeitler comes off. He's coming off to Queen, these guys fall for the counter. Now watch Parrott. Drives the feet and just folds him. Gets a little help from Caden Smith. But if Hernandez holds this block well, and Caden Smith comes up in here, well, like, you have yourself a good play. Like, that can turn into a big play. If anything, you're going to get 4 yards. If anything, you get 4 yards out of that. Here, just got a really good pass rep here. Let's watch. So you got here and here. You have Hernandez working for these two players, Hernandez and Thomas. Ngakoue drops out. Hernandez passes off, and Andrew Thomas immediately comes down. Will Hernandez passes it off. And add that, and then Ngakoue comes with there. Will Hernandez picks it up. Nothing crazy, but I thought this was a good rep, especially on a 3rd down. On the other side, Zeitler's doing his job. Alfred Morris has a good block. Matt Parrott does a good job. Gates is helping, making sure Hernandez has his job. And that's just a really good blocked pass play. Next play, just nasty Nick Gates. I love this guy so much. You got 54 looping around, saying, dude, if you guys are going to try and to do these stunts, you're going to have to pay. Because, yeah, Kevin Zeitler comes off of it a little slow, not worse. 54 thinks he has himself a lane, and Nick Gates, levels him. That is freaking beautiful. That is nasty Nick Gates. That is why we call him Nasty Nick. Nasty Nick Gates. Wham! I freaking love that. I love that. All right, so now we're going to get into the second half where there's a lot of bad and a lot of sacks, which we'll get to. But before that, if you like these videos, if you've liked them, please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps. This is probably one of our most consumed pieces of content, and I think it's the piece of content that we've gotten noticed for the most. So I know the offseason is coming upon us. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff for the offseason, new stuff, some more creative stuff. So, and we're going to have a Talking Football channel that's coming out soon, man. Radio. We'll have some stuff. But like and subscribe. Thank you. All right, let's get into the second half. So here's the first sack of the game. Who do you guys think that one's on? You got the play action. Let's see where everyone ends up. You got Fleming lined up here. Zeitler here. Gates here. Lemieux here. Thomas here. One of these two, and I'm pretty sure it's Wayne Gallman, has to pick this up. And he goes to do it, but he whiffs. I know we talked about this in the Arizona game, that possibly that Gallman has to see this and to get and to not do the fake, like in a sense make the decision to get off the fake and just get to the block. I get it's hard to make those decisions, but that's a sack. That's a sack that goes on to the running back. And I also want to point out everyone else does their job except for Shane Lemieux. It's just Lemieux's just not great with the hand fight and getting and getting his feet. He just gets beat. He just gets beat with speed on the inside. So even if Gallman picks this block up, Jones has 92 right in his face because of Lemieux. Now he possibly gets that ball out, but Lemieux struggled, and we'll see. We'll see some Lemieux sacks here. We haven't seen Andrew Thomas get beat like this in a while on the inside. And it was like some of his old bad habits that he, like, you see, what I do like is that he is becoming consistent in this. Watch the right foot. As soon as Ngakoue shows any sort of inside move, that right foot posts up. It's just a little step. It's nothing big. Now, he thinks Ngakoue is going back outside. When he punches, his feet stop moving. When he punches right here, his feet stop moving. And when that happens, it's not a good punch. And then watch the right foot. Watch the right foot drop back. Now the defensive end has a lane to the quarterback. Now the defensive end has a lane to the quarterback. Decent job recovering. I always say if you're going to make a mistake, make it at 100 miles per hour. But that was some old stuff. Now let's watch Shane Lemieux here too. I like the way Lemieux replaces his hands. But it's just, he gets beat to the side, consistently. I think he gets too comfortable, of moving backwards, where it's like, dude, you got to move horizontal. You got to move horizontal. You are not a tackle. You can't block you can't block on the tackle and push guys around the pocket. You can't do that from the guard spot. And Jones gets lit up on this. This could have been a really bad play. Could have been a really bad play. Here, sack. Again, Shane Lemieux. He's got the guy on his outside shoulder. And it's just, this has been happening consistently. When he punches, that's good that's good hand fight from the defensive lineman, but totally swipes, gets his hands off of him. And then watch the right arm of the defensive lineman. Rips through that right arm. Lemieux's feet aren't moving with them. And he's beat. and he gives up a sack. Next play, Matt Parrott. This is the Matt Parrott sack. These are some of the issues that Parrott has had. He had gotten better at it recently, but he didn't play last week due to an illness. Just opening the hips up too early. Like, see how his hips are open and Thomas's are square right here? His hips are totally open at this point. Like, even Thomas, when he's getting around the edge, like, he's still doesn't have his, like, totally sideways. And a pass rusher like Judon's going to see that with Parrott, and when they see Parrott's in the game, their thought is bend the edge. Get around that corner, and that's what he does. And because with that, Parrott just doesn't punch. He places his hands. He doesn't punch his hands. So, the defensive ends are able to do basically whatever they want with their hands because Parrott's he's not punching. He's not taking their hands off of them. Letting them do whatever they want with their hands. So he just opens up, like you see. Rep 1, 2 on his second step of his right foot. He's opening up the hips. I mean, this is a great play by Judon too to bend the corner. But I mean, totally just kills Jones on that play. And then the next play, this is the string of 3 sacks in a row. Parrott, bad stunt pickup. Shane Lemieux, bad stunt pickup. I don't know which one got the official credit for it. I give it to both of them. We'll start with Parrott since we were just talking about him. You see Calais Campbell getting upfield like this, you got to think that they're doing some type of stunt. You just have to think that that's what they're trying to do. When they're lined up like that, if he doesn't immediately hit into this gap, you have to think that they're trying to set up some type of stunt. And that's little stuff that he'll learn. But he's so focused on Judon that, like, Zeitler is trying. He's like, dude, Zeitler is trying to pass this off to Parrott. Zeitler knows what's coming. But Parrott's just not ready for it. He's got his eyes on Judon. And Zeitler's like, hey, I gotta bail, man. I gotta go pick up Judon. And he does a good job of it. And Parrott's just not ready for it. So like I said, I mean, it sucks if with more reps, he'll get more comfortable with this. But it's kind of tough when you're getting reps here and there. And then on the other side, with Lemieux, this one's a little tougher. You got 3 guys here, 3 for 3 with Gates, Lemieux, and Thomas. Lemieux passes, gets it all. Like, Thomas picks it up. But Gates is trying to push, 90 onto Lemieux. And Lemieux is, he's not even looking back there because Gates is, just like Zeitler, is like, hey, I gotta pick up 90. I gotta pick up Ngakoue. Doesn't even do a great job of it. But it's like, at this point right here, you got to realize that Thomas has this picked up. And you got to feel. You got someone. Take that right foot and hinge it. Hinge it open. So I don't know who they give that sack credit to. I think they gave it to Lemieux. But I give it as a half for both. And then this is a 3rd and 22 sack. I love what Wink Martindale, the Ravens defensive coordinator, does. He disguises all kinds of blitzes. It's like he was like number 1 on my list for like Giants head coaches that I wanted because I just love the way he draws up his blitz schemes, and uses the talent that Baltimore has. Joe Judge was like the one guy we didn't even look into because special teams coach, no way. But I think Wink will do good, and he has he's made it clear that he wants to bring a college offensive coordinator with him. Last year's Joe Brady, and now it's the Clemson OC supposedly. So what happens on this? I mean, you see this, you got to set your protection to this. I probably should have put the sky view in here, but I didn't. But they're setting the protection to these guys because you can't have these 4 guys lined up in the gaps and not like account for them, especially when you have a 5-man protection too. You don't have a running back, and it's just they send the blitz off here, back these guys off. and Jones has no shot. And this is a 3rd and 22 as well. So, the DBs were playing off like crazy too. So that's scheme. I don't blame the offensive lineman for that one. And then the last sack of the game, I think they credited Andrew Thomas for this one, which pisses me off because this isn't on Andrew Thomas. This is on partly Dion Lewis, partly scheme. But this is we got 6 blockers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. So they got one more guy coming than they have blockers. Now, Dion Lewis, he's a running back, so I don't mind him not having the greatest block in the world. But he doesn't allow Jones to, run to the, get to the lefts. But here's what pisses me off is I get that they have one more guy on this field, but Cam Fleming does this all the time. He did this in the Pittsburgh, he does this all the time. When they send 2 guys his way, and this is what I always say, if you're going to make a mistake, make it at 100 miles per hour. He picks neither. Pick one, dude. You know what you've got. What is the point of this? Because what's happening is he's setting towards, I don't know who he's setting towards. Is he trying to block both these guys? Pick one. Because by being indecisive, now they have 2 unblocked guys screaming down at him. Pick one and block him. And let there be another free man. You block 32 and Jones can, run up through here possibly. You block 54 and say, Dion Lewis doesn't mess this up. Well, then Jones isn't worried about, him screaming down here, him screaming around. Pick one guy and go. And that was sack number 6 of the game. But again, that was on a 3rd down. So rough game for the O-line. I don't think it was putrid, but it was a rough game for the offensive line overall. So again, if you like these videos, please subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Really appreciate this. This has been fun. Week 17. If the Giants don't make the playoffs, I cannot promise that the offensive line report will come out in a timely manner because we'll be hitting. There's some offseason stuff we're going to be doing. The Giants, say they fired Garrett. It gets into, offensive coordinator research mode and doing that stuff. So eventually it will come out. But I can't promise you that it's going to be in this timely manner. And honestly, most of you guys probably check out after the season. You don't want to watch the offensive line report. I know some of you guys will, but as a whole, I don't think you're all going to be jonesing to see what happened with the Week 17 O-line report as the season is over. So it will happen at some point because I do want to have a whole season's catalog. But I can't promise that it's going to be in a timely manner. So we'll see, man. Hopefully it is in a timely manner, and we're getting ready to do the playoffs. So we'll see. We appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe. As always, if this is the last one for a while, it's been a fun season. I know this is some people, their only content they take of us is the O-line report. I think we do a lot of cool stuff. So if this is the last O-line report you watch of the year, I truly do appreciate it. And we appreciate you guys. Let's go Big Blue.